Lovely. All right. It's episode 24
Woo!
of the Paropod
Nice.
with your boys, myself, Owen, and
Mark, it's the 48th hour of our voices by the end of this episode. 2 full days.
2 full days. You know what?
I don't know why we said
I,
that. You know,
I,
we're just
I
gonna
know what
log
I'm
off.
doing. I know what I'm doing Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's
Time building up.
Yeah, it's really catching up.
It's actually crazy. 24 weeks as well.
24
It's a
weeks.
long
Well,
time.
it's only 6 months.
That's actually crazy. We have to have our
Party.
our birthday
Yeah, our half birthday. Or something like
to celebrate.
that. You know.
What you been up to anyway?
Fuck all.
Yeah, same.
I finished Sopranos.
Sweet.
That was a big one. That was a big one there. Because that was
Yeah.
a big investment. But I'm very, very ambivalent about the ending. So,
Oh yeah.
but I can't really talk about it. So,
Yeah,
You
man,
know?
you're gonna be I don't mind. No, actually,
Yeah.
because we like the question later on is about spoilers.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, not with TV shows. Like, spoiler alert. I don't really care about spoilers,
Yeah.
but I do with TV
You
shows.
just spoiled the ending of the episode.
Yeah, I know. That's so fucking meta.
Yeah. No, TV shows are definitely a different animal. But
Yeah, they are.
so Sopranos. Once you get finished that, and we'll talk about it. If I can remember what, you know.
I'll remind you. You'll remember.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I did that.
Just
What were you up to?
Nothing much. Watched a few movies. I watched actually a new movie, which I think is the first time that this has ever happened on the podcast.
A new movie.
A new movie. I watched One Night in Miami.
Ooh.
Do you know about this movie?
Yeah, it's one with Muhammad Ali and what's his name?
Malcolm
Malcolm
X.
X and all. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very, very good. I really enjoyed it. It's obviously a play. Like it's got like kind of 12 Angry Men vibes a bit.
Mm.
In the sense that it is like men in a room talking about like because like 12 Angry Men is like feels very political because they're talking about like justice and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then like flip side of that is One Night in Miami, which is 4 dudes talking about like race relations basically, and like, you know, their role in either fighting or in some ways potentially like supporting that oppression. And it's really interesting. It's really cool. It's based on a play, like 12 Angry Men as well. And it all takes place in like one room for the most part. Like there's one bit where the star isn't it's like introducing the characters, like jump into like all these different locations, and then they all end up meeting in the hotel room.
Mm.
Oh god, it'd be handy if I knew who the guys were. Hold on a second, let me pull up the list.
Is it? It's like 4 of them, is it?
Yeah, it's 4 of them.
4 lads. Ali. I keep forgetting Malcolm X's name. Who,
Yeah, but there's the 2 other ones I need to remember. So it's
who plays them?
the guy that plays Burr in Hamilton, Leslie Odom Jr. He plays Sam Cooke, so he's the singer, which like obviously makes sense. I've never listened to any Sam Cooke, but he seemed pretty cool.
He's a good guy.
And then there's Jim Brown, and then Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali.
Who's Jim Brown?
Jim Brown was an NFL player,
Oh.
and he like broke a record for like running the most miles or most yards in a season or something.
All right.
And he plays for like, I think the Cleveland Browns or something, or the Bears or something. I remember he plays for.
Cleveland Browns, yeah.
Boys. The Cleveland Browns. They're not called the Browns.
That's a bit on the nose, isn't it?
I don't think they're called that.
Yeah, they're called the Cleveland Browns, yeah.
I thought they're the Bears.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's like the Redskins. They don't know what they're doing over there.
no, but more
their
more
sports
so
names.
for the. Well, actually, no. It makes way more sense that Cleveland Brown from Family Guy
Yeah.
is named after them, as opposed to them being.
Yeah, they were named after him. Yeah, explains the Peter Griffins as well in the NFL. You know?
But yeah, no, it's a very good film. I really enjoyed it. It's just a really cool thing where like you understand like everyone's feelings on the topic, because mostly it deals with Jim Cook, and him and Malcolm X like.
Jim Brown.
Sorry, did I say Jim Cook? Yeah, Jim Brown. What the fuck is Jim Cook? That's the fucking bottle of Captain Morgan's ripoff. That's what that is.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, I know that name. Yeah, no. What's his name?
What? Jim
Sam
Brown?
Cooke.
Sam
Cook.
The singer.
Yeah, he's like talking to Malcolm X, and he's just like, you're very you're not helping us with like how militant you are and how like aggressive you are. And he's like, well, at least I'm fucking doing something. You just played their music for them. And it goes on like that for like quite a while, like just talking about like how Sam Cooke is like, arguably just like, not doing anything for anyone, and how like Bob Dylan made a song that is way more like akin to like the struggle that they were going through more than anything that like Sam Cooke ever has done.
Mm.
And he's like, yeah, it's true, but you want like the real difference isn't in like just like giving people opportunities. It's about making money, and I get people money. And he signs like all these artists and stuff like that, because that's how you make an actual difference in someone's life. Like he's talking about that type of shit, like very like a very materialistic kind of view on it.
Mm.
And then they go back and forth, just like having a discussion about that, and like you understand both sides of it, kind of. For the like you understand why everyone does it, but why that might not work, but like why it could work, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you understand why it works and why it doesn't work, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Sounds interesting. Is it like different conversations between different people, or are they all like talking over each other?
That's like the main one, and then the other two are like chiming in, like kind of backing one side, or like kind of giving like a third point or whatever. And then it talks about like how Muhammad Ali like becoming like world heavyweight champion won't actually make a difference for anyone. Yeah, he's like seen as this like major political figure and like a voice and stuff like that, but he's like, yeah, but like seeing that I could do it means that like it could inspire a new generation of like black boxers to come up and stuff like that. And it's like all this type of shit like that. Very interesting, especially because like Muhammad Ali is just like, I didn't do it for that. Like I just did it because I wanted to be a boxer.
Yeah. Who's the other guy? Jim Brown. What does he have to say?
He's just kind of chilling. He's kind of the same. He's in the same like boat as like
Ali.
As Ali kind of. Well, Cassius Clay, because he's not actually Muhammad Ali at this stage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But like yeah, and it's about loads of different shit. It's very interesting though. It's very well done. I always enjoy when like a film. You know, a film's good when like there's not much like location changes or anything, and it's mostly dialogue, but you're still invested and you're still interested in what's going on.
Yeah. That's a rare skill.
A good film.
Yeah. Who are the people behind this? Director and like writer and stuff.
So is Regina King.
Okay.
I don't think she's done much. Kind of indie director, I guess. But I don't know how this got bought up actually by Amazon.
Oh.
Because it was shown at festivals, so Amazon picked it up. Regina King is also the producer. I'm trying to find the writer. The writer is Kemp Powers.
Who?
Who's the writer on Soul as well, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it's very good. I recommend it. There's a lot of good shit getting added to Amazon at the moment.
Amazon is actually pretty good,
But scam it, get that free passes and whatnot.
Yeah. But like, only reason to keep Prime at the moment while these Brexit delays, it's just terrible. But yeah, Amazon's a good sort of supplement to Netflix. There's way more of the obscure stuff.
Yeah, but nothing like movie, man.
No, nothing like movie at all, But like, it has like stuff. It's like a really shit film from the 70s that's like a cult classic. It's not going to be on Netflix. It might be on Amazon Prime,
Yeah, because I was trying to like, Amazon Prime has like a lot of like really terrible movies, but you wouldn't find these bad movies anywhere else.
Exactly, yeah. If I'm ever looking for something akin to like the Texas Chainsaw sequels, I always go to Amazon first, because Netflix never has. It used to have stuff like that, but now it has nothing. Like everything they have is a film you've either heard of or like seen before. Like they don't really have a back catalog,
You've already seen half the shit that's already on Netflix.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a big deal when they do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this hidden gem on Netflix, It's like Shawshank Redemption. Have you ever heard of this film? They don't even have that anymore, do they?
Yeah, they don't even have that anymore.
Sad.
They got fuck all on Netflix at the moment. But they got the Ghiblies. Like at least they have that, because American Netflix doesn't have that. European does though, or at least UK would. What you been watching?
I haven't watched much now. I was watching the end of Sopranos. I did watch Vampyr. A film
I was
called
also
Vampyr.
going to watch this, but I didn't.
Yes, I was notified via email by the good people at Mubi that Vampyr had been added to their collection and that I had to watch it. And I was like any favor they asked for me, I'd be like, yes, no problem.
I'm there,
Mubi.
buddy.
I'm there, bro. You know, it's only 70 minutes long. It's like this vampire film, but it's spelled with a Y.
Vampyr.
Vampyr. It's from 1932 by this guy called Carl Dreyer, who directed
Joan of Arc.
Passion of the Joan of Arc, yeah.
Yeah.
That one, you know. I've never seen it, but
He's done a few films as well. He's a very influential figure.
yeah, he's a big guy. But this film is like this, you know, it's like sort of a recurring theme whenever we talk about films. It's like this film was received very poorly when it was released. Like people did not like this film. Like when it was first released at the premiere, people rioted, and not because of like, you know, sexuality or like it offended them or whatever. They rioted because they thought it was so bad and they wanted their money back. And the cinema said no, so they started a riot, and the police had to be called in, and like there's like a bat on charge and all. So
that's when you know you made a good movie, though.
yeah. he was really pushing the boat out. He's pushing the envelope back then, Mr. Dreyer. Yeah, he actually had a mental breakdown after that, and was committed to an institution shortly afterwards. Shit. So it obviously didn't impact him very well career wise or personally, but the film is pretty good. I like it. I really like it. It's like
how come people thought it was bad?
It's because it's really slow. It's
okay.
Because it came out in 32, so like Dracula, like with like Bela Lugosi and stuff, that was 31. So
and Nosferatu as well.
Nosferatu was 22, like, so people had that in mind, had this sort of like preconception of what this would be in mind, and then they also had, you know, probably the most iconic Dracula film ever made, which was being released concurrently in Europe at the same time, and they watched this film, and it's like there's no real vampire. It's like you don't see him anyway, and it's really moody, and it's like everything's like really slow and deliberate. It's not really a vampire. It's more of like a ghost story. Like he's more of a ghost.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Like he is a vampire, but it's like it takes on. It's like more about the archetypes of like folklore and stuff like that, and it's really like a mood piece, and it's not necessarily about the plot or about like the scintillating kind of aspects of Dracula as this like sex symbol or whatever. It's like this film's really, really erotic, you know, but not in like the capital E kind of way. It's like a sensual kind of dreamy atmosphere.
Not in the Gary Oldman like getting his like nipples sucked.
yeah, nothing like that in this film. It was based on the short story by a guy called Sheridan Le Fanu, a fine Irishman from like the Romantic kind of era. He's the guy who wrote Carmilla, which is like the lesbian vampire kind of trope. So he was like Bram Stoker's editor when Bram Stoker was started out as a critic in Dublin. So he sort of influenced Stoker. So he's sort of like a precursor to all this. So like his vampires, like Le Fanu's vampires, look very different to what we imagine or what we like popularly conceive vampires to be. You know, like what like Nosferatu is or like Dracula and stuff. So like people saw that and they're like, "This isn't for me. This is weird."
What does he like? So you say that you don't see him. So is it like, what? Like what do you mean by that? Like
you see him, but like you see the vampire, you see the guy who is the vampire, but like it's not made clear that he's a vampire till like very like towards the end of the film, and it's like he doesn't have fangs or like a cape or anything. He's just like a guy, you know. Like
okay, yeah.
But like it's not really about him in the way that a Dracula film would be. It's more about, it's like even the camera movement or like even the way he shot it. Like I was reading that he deliberately filmed it with like this sort of soft focus and like these weird filters to like evoke a sense of, you know, dreaminess, and like it's more like evocative than it is like really like stimulating in the way that like there's no blood or anything. Like people die and stuff, but like it's all sort of, it's more elusive. It's more of a ghost story. It's more about what's not there than what is there.
What is there?
Yeah, it's really good. It's only 70 minutes.
Sounds really good.
You know,
that sounds
give
really
it a watch.
Good.
It's
I'll
like,
definitely give it a watch.
Yeah. I prefer it. It's way easier to watch than Nosferatu. Like based on what I remember of Nosferatu.
Yeah, Nosferatu's on Netflix or on movie as well. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on Irish one, but it is. It's on one of them. But yeah, no, like that. I tried to watch Nosferatu like. Oh man, I actually think I was way too young to like even try and watch a film like that. I think it was like 14 or 15. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way I was gonna watch it. And like just starting, I was watching it with Keen, who did the beatbox in one of the episodes.
One of our guests. Yeah.
One of our guest features. We just knocked it on because Keen had heard about it. Because Keen obviously knew it from fucking SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's how I heard of it as well. That's why I put it on.
And it was on Netflix. It was on Netflix. Like that's what we're, like as you were saying earlier about how Netflix has kind of moved away from having the obscure shit. But yeah. So like I couldn't watch it at all. But I feel like I could watch it now. But I know it is very slow, and I know it is very like it's boring. Like
Yeah. Because it's like.
but it's about the mood.
Yeah, because it's like Nosferatu is silent as well. This film is actually a sound. It's like a talkie or whatever. But like the story is mostly told through intertitles, which is another aspect of it. Like there's no real like dialogue.
Oh, so there is talking in it.
Yeah, there's people talk and stuff, but like it still has intertitles saying like
what actually happened.
yeah, like it's sort of explaining scenes and stuff. But it sort of works to its like I don't like silent films. Like maybe that's an unpopular opinion in certain circles, but I think they're just boring and it's like there's not much going on.
Charlie Chaplin ones and Buster Keaton are good, but they're the comedy ones.
Yeah. Like it sort of works to the advantage of this film because like it lets the atmosphere sort of like soak in a bit more, something like that, you know. Like it's not there's no real sudden movements around it. It's way more sort of like smooth and like atmospheric and stuff. But
you're not gonna watch Dr. Callaghan or whatever the fuck that one is
Dr.
called.
Caligari, yeah.
Yeah,
I actually watched that at the start of lockdown. It's on Amazon Prime.
is that good?
Yeah. I liked it. Yeah, it's but it's like the same thing with like Nosferatu. It's like because they're like clearly from a different era. Like it's not even like I have any bone to pick with like the stylistic or like the genre that those films are in. It's more like the way like old films are like sort of sped up and stuff. Like they move a bit weird.
I think that's a conversion thing. I remember hearing about that before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something to do with the recording of the footage. Like the way that like it's very grainy to watch a silent film now.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been like that back in the day.
Mm.
Like they would have been like clear images. I remember seeing something like that. But it has something to do with the re-recording of the footage. That's why it's like sped up and like it can be kind of grainy and like hard to look and like kind of out of focus in some parts.
Yeah.
That would like back in the day that wouldn't have been the way that it was shown.
Yeah. I can forgive like Nosferatu and stuff because like that was like nearly like that was legally mandated to be destroyed.
That's 100 years old now as well.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Jesus, that's mad. But like you have like things are like sped up and it's like really grainy and you have like the little artifacts on the image. But like also like you have like so many of them have like vignette kind of effect on it. Like the exterior of the image is like darkened almost. And it's more of like a circular kind of frame. Like this film doesn't have any of that. Like Vampyr is just like it's almost looks modern in the way it's shot. It's like Lynch could have directed this in the 70s or something. Like it's I don't know if it's movie the way they restored it or whatever.
It's probably because that's probably the Criterion version of it, I'd imagine.
But it's really it's
Criterion cut or whatever.
Yeah, it's really smooth and it's even the way it's cut and like edited is like it's just really pleasing to the modern eye in my opinion. So
that's cool.
Worth a look.
Very good.
You know.
Yeah, that era like there is interesting films because like man, I watched an hour of Napoleon and I never went back to it.
Yeah, I never got through that either. But like, I'll go back to it
like,
eventually.
Even still though, like watching, I was like, there is stuff there. Like it is interesting to like watch this film and watch it do montage in the way that it does. Because we don't do montage the way that like they used to do it. Like montage now, since like Rocky and shit like that, like the montage is something very fucking different to what like originally it was.
Yeah,
and,
Eisenstein would not have made Rocky, you know, that kind of thing.
No, Eisenstein would not have made Rocky, especially Rocky 4, where he ends the Cold War.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that like, and that era is like so filled with like experimentation because there was a brand new medium, you didn't know what you were doing with it and stuff like that. And like, you know, some shit didn't work, like having 3 cinema screens, that didn't work.
But it worked. The problem was the cinema is not the movie, you know.
Yeah, but it's not like, you know, it didn't work.
It
Like
was a
that's
terrible idea.
experimentation
Yeah, yeah.
that didn't like that didn't like keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can find some weird, cool shit in that era,
Mm.
but it's also terribly boring.
Yeah, a lot of it's boring. But, that's the thing, sorting the wheat from the chaff, stuff like that.
I think as well it has to do with like the fact that like you didn't need to have a story. Just having shit like a film on it was mind blowing.
Yeah, they're like, what?
like one of the films, the train just coming into the fucking station, like that was shown places and people went to go see it.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause that was mind blowing. So you didn't need to have a fucking story.
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, those are the good
Mental.
old days.
Especially like all the Russian and communist shit that came out at the time.
They were mad.
Mad shit.
They were mad.
But it's like the Polish Communist Party and the Polish filmmakers.
Oh.
Like our good man that oh god, I can't pronounce his name. The guy that
Kieslowski.
did Kieslowski
Yeah.
and Decalogue. Which I didn't watch Decalogue. Decalogue is have you ever seen Decalogue?
No.
I want to watch it, but
It's like 10 hours long, isn't it?
well, it's like it's a TV show.
Yeah, yeah. But it's
So, like,
it's depressing, isn't it?
Well, man, from a short film about killing.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man! Yeah, it is. There's no, yeah, but Decalogue. I think Decalogue influenced Black Mirror in a way because I think Black Mirror shows the dystopian that could be, whereas Decalogue shows you the dystopian that we're living in.
Oh god. Yeah.
In a way that's like really really interesting and really like profound in a way. Each episode deals with like a different like theme basically, and part of the deal was that like Kieslowski would make 2 films out of like the 10 episodes, and he chose like episode 5 and episode 6 or 7. I can't remember which one it is. So he made like 80-minute long films from a 60-minute long TV show. So it's like an extra 20 minutes in it. And a short film about killing is about like the death penalty and like kind of brings up like weird emotions in you about that shit, because it's about like this isn't like, it's not really a spoiler because the synopsis of the film, it tells you what it is. This random guy goes out basically one day and he just randomly kills someone and then he's executed, and that's what it's about. But your feelings about him and about the situation changes throughout the entire film to the point where you're just like, yeah, no, he didn't deserve to die. Like, he murdered someone very brutally for no reason, but like that's just fucked up what happened to him. Because like
Why?
you understand more about him slightly, and you understand more about like the people around him, if you know what I mean, and like how brutally treated he is, especially because in a way that like it does this thing where like everyone is kind of an asshole in this movie except for his lawyer, which we follow briefly, but it mainly follows the guy that kills Jakob, I think his name is, and this taxi driver, and the taxi driver is who he's killed. The taxi driver is a complete like unlikable asshole, and like you have no like the film literally gives you no reason to feel for him. Like, he's a perv, he's a dickhead. Like some fella's just walking on the road with his dogs, and he beeps his horn so the dog runs away. And so like, the man loses his dog and shit like that. Like, he's just a nasty fuck. And then he dies in a really brutal fucking way. And you're like, oh, well, he didn't deserve that. Like,
Yeah.
And it's really fucking brutal. Like, it is really, really fucked up. And, you feel like, well, the guy didn't deserve that, so fuck this asshole. But then the film is just like, he died in like a very, like, not as brutal way, but like a very, like, systematic and cold way that was really fucked up and really like disturbing in a way. And yeah, it's just about that, and it's about like how we perceive justice, and how you feel about the death penalty and stuff like that. It's good. It's very, very good.
Why is he or why do you feel bad for him? Like, what does he go through while he's getting sentenced?
Just like the sense of like remorse that he shows at one scene, like he's like breaking down crying and like I shouldn't have done that basically, but I did it. And then talking about like his family and realizing that like the situation that he came from kind of like aided this kind of, and and like all this other shit. And then the people that kill him are like super fucking brutal and like rip him out of the cell and like drag him down the hall and then like basically like kind of kick the shit out of him a little bit, and then like really quickly just like do the execution by hanging, and it's really like fucked up.
Yeah, jeez.
And then it's just like it's like a gush of like panic and energy, and then they kill him, and then it's just complete silence, and they're just like, all right, let's go, and they just leave him there basically.
Jeez, that doesn't sound like good vibes.
No, it's not good vibes
Yeah.
at all. Like it's really disturbing.
That sounds like a bit of a downer, like.
But like it is, and it makes you reflect and makes you think about the death penalty, and it's like, man, even so, because like you're just like, even someone as like fucked up and like like kind of evil, like it's like, well, no one's really evil. There's always a reason for it, for like everything that people do, no matter how fucked up it is, and you're just like, maybe you should just let him like stay in jail for the rest of his life, as opposed to like just cutting his life short, especially because you find out that he was like 19 when he killed the dude, and he's like 20 being executed.
Yeah, it's mad that you can like, once you pass 18, you can get like executed someplace.
The state can do what they want with you, basically.
Yeah, that's mad. I didn't even notice turning 18.
Yeah,
it's not like a.
But in the eyes of it's like you're like, oh yeah, you can drink now. But in the eyes of like the state, like depending on where you are,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
we don't have the death penalty here, but like if you have the death penalty here, in the eyes of the state, they can execute you now if you do something.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I can have a pint, whereas the government officials like, I can finally execute that kid, Yeah, I don't know. I like. What do you think about the death penalty on?
No, I don't think it's good. Like, even for because even like for the fact that if you want to be like, oh, like that evil bastard deserves to die. Even in that sense, I think it's far crueler to let someone just rot away in jail for the rest of their life.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a way worse punishment.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, it's pretty true.
As opposed to just like getting rid of them.
Yeah,
Essentially.
depends on the kind of prison though.
Yeah, it does. Just send them over to those Russia's toughest prisons. Just
Yeah,
send them over to there.
they're crazy.
Man, they are fucking.
They're
mental.
fucked up. Like no, I don't think Russia probably has like a 0 murder rate or something. Because I would be like, if I could have been
that.
I could have been the coldest criminal in the world. I'd be like, fuck that. I'm not going to fucking. It's like Black Dolphin, I think it's called.
Yeah, Black Whale or some shit like that, man.
Yeah.
That thing. I think it is. No, I think it is Black Dolphin, where they have like this like. I think everyone has seen that place.
Yeah.
That place was fucked.
Yeah.
Hey, just send some like mass murder. Just send them a Black Dolphin, or just threaten people like, yeah, prison. Like, have no prisons basically, but be like, if you go to prison, like,
yeah.
you're
It's
never
over.
gonna be.
Yeah, it's over. You're going in the hole. Like, yeah. I don't know.
I guess prison is kind of like that though already. Like most prisons, like especially in America, Jesus. But like
Yeah, but then you have the thing that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in, like maximum security prison, but you can like still kill yourself and stuff.
Man, those quotation marks are so like maximum security.
Yeah. It was like, what's that?
Dude got murdered.
Yeah. It's just when I was watching Sopranos, one thing I noticed is the way that they distinguish between. Like it's set in the early 2000s, and they're all like their good old days kind of thing is like the 80s and the 70s, and the one way they distinguished it was like people started to become rats in like the 90s and the 2000s when
because prison became way fucking worse.
Yeah, prison got way worse, and you get locked up for longer for like smaller things. Like back in the day, like you could get like you could
Law and Order. That's Nixon and like fucking Clinton
and stuff. Yeah. And Biden, I suppose, as well. He wrote a lot of those things.
Yeah.
But like, you could be like a mob guy, like a mafiosa, like Tony Sirico, the guy who plays Paulie. He was in like prison multiple times. He was in like Sing Sing, like all like the tough places. But he's only there for a few years. Like he did bad things, like assault and stuff. Whereas like nowadays, you get like, I don't know, 20 years over there or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like they made it way more tough, and now people are like, I don't want to go to like just you do what you want. I won't break any laws.
Yeah. It's fucking
Bizarre.
It's crazy. Did you ever see like that documentary 13th on Netflix?
No, I've never seen it.
That documentary covers all that stuff really well, like how easy it became to become how easy it became to be imprisoned, and the documentary like correlates that to how the 13th Amendment got rid of slavery except for criminals.
Yeah. It's legal to have someone as a slave if they're a criminal. It's like, what?
Yeah, if they're
why is that?
if they're a prisoner, then
Yeah.
it's fine for them to be a slave.
Yeah, it's only slavery is only illegal if you're a good person, or like if you're
Yeah.
like in the eyes of the law or whatever. It's like, what? Like that's not really that doesn't seem
Yeah.
very fair. I don't know.
But yeah, it's mental though. It's crazy.
It's fucked up.
But yeah, I'm gonna watch a short film about love is the other one. I went with killing first because I was like, okay, right, short film about killing, right. I know that that's gonna be fucked up, but I have a feeling that a short film about love might just probably be more fucked up.
Yeah, they lure you in.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like it's gonna be more of a shock.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not about puppies and rainbows or whatever,
Yeah, and it's like, oh well, the film about killing was that fucked up, so the film about love is gonna trick me, right?
Yeah.
But I want to watch Decalogue at some stage, definitely.
Is that on any streaming? Is that on a?
No,
no?
it is not. It's on fucking nowhere.
That's fucked.
You have to buy the Criterion collection of it.
Subscribe to the Criterion thing.
Just drop 100 or 80 quid on fucking.
Oh yeah, it is a bit expensive. Yeah.
Man, those things are mad expensive.
But like Criterion is sort of justified though.
Yeah, because they make it worth it, and
Yeah.
they're like a very niche thing as well.
Yeah, niche in the way they'd have everything. Like
Yeah,
like pretty much everything you could think of, they'd have it.
but like I actually watched a video about this during last week or the week before about like Criterion Collection, and the way that they did it was like they have like 2 major sales a year, and it's when like everything's like half price basically, or like selected things are half price. So you can get like an otherwise very expensive item for like half the price, so it becomes more accessible to people, and it's like having a bougie item basically. Like it's a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they are. They're like sought
It's
after.
an affordable bougie item, and it's collectibles, and it's like the quality and everything is amazing, and it's like to be in the Criterion Collection is almost an award. Like you've hit like a certain level of like cinema to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you made
But
it.
they've got 2 Michael Bay movies in it.
Yeah.
They
What
got
are they?
Armageddon and
Armageddon. What? That film
and
was
something
rubbish.
else. The Rock, I think.
Yeah, it's probably The Rock. They have like ever watch their closet pics videos on YouTube?
Man, they're so good.
They're great.
They're
Shijek
so good.
and stuff. Like everyone's done one.
And doing that shit is like also promotes the like how exclusive the item is, because like all the greatest filmmakers like, oh shit, you got this is one of my favorite movies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Man,
It's just good marketing.
if I went into one of those closets, I'd like, what's the most basic film you have? 'Cause, you watched.
I really like Parasite.
Yeah. It's like because you watch them and like all these famous people talking about films that, like no one's ever heard of. Like I've never heard of any of the films they talk about.
Yeah, that's where I get like my watch list from sometimes.
From the closet things.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
closet things. Gaspar Noé saying that fucking 120 Days of Salo is a masterpiece and his favorite film.
Classic. No way.
You fucking pretentious asshole.
Yeah, yeah. The cameraman's just like, shut the fuck up.
Shut up, Noé. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
no way.
I do want to get one eventually, but
What?
I
One
want
of
to be in the
DVDs?
shop buying them. Yeah, one of like just the Blu-rays, because I got the PlayStation, so you can watch
Couldn't be
Blu-rays.
arsed. Get the streaming.
But they're
thing.
like 40 quid.
Yeah, fuck that. Get the streaming for like 80 quid for a full year.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
You just screen record it. There you go.
Just constantly have my laptop screen recording.
The laptop just turns into a nuclear bomb, just blows up. Like. I made the mistake of trying to screen record something on this laptop. I was like, never again. I had to delete the full
Never
thing.
again.
Yeah. Jesus.
We go Chainsaw Massacre now, bro.
Let's do it, bro. While returning from their prom night, a group of teenagers meet Leatherface, who along with his family is notorious for his obsession of killing people. Okay, that wasn't a very good plot summary.
Would that be with killing people?
This is the first thing. This is how low effort this film was. Not even the guy in IMDb bothered to like give it a plot summary.
To give it an actual
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, this is low key one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can understand.
It's
But yeah, that's
so
fair
bad.
enough.
This is like offensively bad. This is way, in my opinion, this is way worse than any other like the second one and the third one. This makes the second one look like fucking Citizen Kane or something, you know? Like this is
Batman.
it
Yeah,
just-
like it's I think it's better than the third one. I think it's nowhere near as good as the second one
Yeah.
though, and the second one is nowhere near as good as the first one.
Yeah, this is like the Pluto of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. You know, it's just
Yeah.
way out there in the cold. It doesn't belong. It's not even a planet. It's just out there, you know, floating
It doesn't
around.
make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't fit into anything. Like it doesn't fit with the lore. The guy who wrote the original, Kim Henkel, who wrote it with Toby Hooper, he wrote this and directed this, and I just don't understand why or how he was the one who did this. Because obviously the first one is great, but this one is like no relation in a narrative sense or like stylistically. But like it also like it doesn't seem like anything that the person who made the first one could make. You know?
Yeah, it's insane. It is fucking mental to know that like the guy that co-wrote the first one wrote this one, because you're just like, what happened? Like,
Yeah, is he
what
alright?
Like, what the fuck happened with this series?
I don't know. Because like this wasn't even a case where like they're trying to cash in. Like the development of the production of this film was, some guy went to Kim Henkel, was like, let's do another one, and he was like, yeah. And then they went around to all the studios, and the studios were like, that's a terrible idea. And they kept going around to different studios until eventually they got enough money to make it. So it wasn't like, here, Kim, we'll give you loads of money if you just, you know, shit out this
'Cause
terrible
this is
film.
obviously what he wanted as well.
That's the
like,
thing, yeah.
I
This
feel like-
is a passion project.
Like, this is
which
what
is
he
the most
wanted to
bizarre
make,
aspect.
which is
Yeah.
like insane. But it
Yeah.
also, in a lot of ways, Leatherface himself brings out way more of the black comedy of the first one, which I appreciate. But it's like, I
It's
think
not funny.
I think that they are trying to do something in this film. I think Henkel, is that his name? Henkel. He I think he is trying to do something, but the film around it is just a mess. Now, I think this is I think this is a bad movie. I think it's a terrible movie. However, it was almost like so bad it's good for me, and I was enjoying it, and I was like seeing that like there was an attempt at something,
Or
but
what?
I'm not entirely sure what that is.
That's what I was thinking as well, because I was like, this film is like there's a massive aspect of harm to it. Like Matthew McConaughey is actually really good in this film. Like he really sort of saves it. Like a lesser actor would have just
He's
made
really
this irredeemable.
scary.
He's actually really good in this. That's like one of his first roles. But like he's like hamming it up like to the max. I didn't like the film, like going up to like, how long is it? It's like an hour and a half.
No, it's
Up
80
till about-
minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a pretty decent length. But up to about an hour, I was like, this is a load of bollocks. But then they introduced this really bizarre and completely uncalled for subplot where the family are actually the puppets of like an international conspiracy.
The Illuminati, basically.
The Illuminati, yeah. The Illuminati show up in the film. A guy in a suit walks in, he has a British accent, he's speaking French and stuff.
And he's got like 3 nipples or something. I don't know what's going on down there.
And that's never explained. That's one thing. That's like that part is never. He opens his shirt and he's got like 3 nipples, and he makes like Renee Zellweger like lick his nipples and stuff. That's never explained.
I think
like,
that's
this
like like he's just a complete sadist.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
But,
3
like-
nipples. I think it's like piercings, but like they really look like nipples. Like they do look like nipples.
yeah. It didn't look great anyway. But like, what was the point of that? Because like I was thinking when that showed up, like this whole conspiracy element to it, I was like, maybe they definitely are trying for some kind of reading. Like they're trying to do something. But like I spent a while after I finished the film thinking about what that could have been, and I've just come to the conclusion that they didn't know what they were doing, and there was no reading,
Right.
and
I
they
think
completely failed.
I actually this is where I actually did get some form of a reading from the film, right? Because it's a guy in a suit just coming in, right? And he goes up to McConaughey, can't think of the character's name, and he's saying to him, what do you say? He's saying like you need to show these people the true meaning of horror. Like this isn't the true meaning of horror. This is like this is just nothing. This isn't scary. Like you need to scare these. And he's saying it to the main, basically the villain of the film, because Leatherface is not Leatherface in this film. Leatherface is some
Yeah.
like joke character in a
Yeah,
way, right?
he's like a sideshow basically.
Yeah. And in a way, Leatherface is not what we don't fear Leatherface at all in this film. He's a joke. He's something to take the piss out of. And in a way, I think like, you know, a horror icon eventually loses their fear. That always happens eventually. And in this film, the main killer, the main like, the Leatherface basically, without being Leatherface, is Matthew McConaughey, and he's the one that drives this film. And the Illuminati comes in, and they say like, "You're not scaring these people," but like, it's as if like we are the people that they're talking about. He's not
Yeah.
saying like
Mm.
you're not scaring like Renee Zellweger. You're not scaring the fucking audience. This film isn't what we wanted, and in a
Yeah.
way, it makes a lot of sense when you're saying about like how this film was nearly impossible to make because they didn't want this film. That the guy in the suit coming in that
It's a producer. Yeah.
controls the film is a producer saying this is not the film that we want, and that's how
Yeah.
I kind of read into that aspect.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, but like, why would you make a film that says it's shit? You know, like someone basically like it within that reading, the producer comes onto set and is like, this film is terrible and it's completely failed.
Because the
To
last
to
two
do
have been shit.
Yeah, but like, why? How is that a passion project?
Like
It's
I feel like this killed because the series need to be fucking remade after this film. Like they had to reboot it because of how bad this film is.
how bad this is.
And in a way, it fucking ended like reboots. Like not reboots, sorry, it ended the series. It is a better, Gremlins 2 than Texas Chainsaw 2, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But like, I don't think there's like this the degree of like, maybe it was the limitations because I know like the budget obviously was really low. Like it is a passion project, even though it looks like a really exploitative sort of money maker kind of deal. But like why would you make a film that shits on itself? Like Gremlins 2, like it shits on Gremlins, the franchise, and sequels in general. This film just shits, like, is like, the producer comes in and is like, this film is terrible, and you haven't scared anybody.
I don't know.
Like maybe it is
it's
like
insane.
there's definitely a meta level to it, but
There
what
is.
the
I
fuck?
think there is. And even like
What the fuck?
there's like callbacks to like other shit in the series. Like the way this film starts off, it's just like it references that the first film happened, and then it's like two minor incidents happens. Like it takes the piss out of the franchise, saying like the last two films didn't actually matter. This is the actual sequel, is what it's basically saying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, the second one where they died, that didn't happen. And the first one, well, who the fuck? That wasn't even. That might not have even been Leatherface. Is basically what it says. Because it's like two seemingly related incidents. It's not saying that this is like these
Yeah.
things are definitely the sequels. If you know what I mean.
But then every other scene is like a callback to the original film. you
Yeah.
know?
And even like with Sally at the end and all.
Yeah. The girl from the original film shows up at the end. She's like getting carted along. I don't know what's that about? Like it's
The
established that they're 20 years apart.
But like,
Like-
right, so I'm gonna tell my theory, right, about like
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw, right? Because when I was watching it and Sally appeared, I was like, this actually adds to my theory even more so, right? So my idea is, right, so the original film is all about like cyclical time, right? And how, things always repeat themselves and nothing ever changes, right? And I mentioned in the last one that like the second and the third film seem to like focus really heavily on one aspect of the original one. Like the black comedy of the original one is seen in the second one, and the more like slasher aspects are seen in the third film. And I knew that the fourth film definitely dealt with like, so there's something about women in this film. I don't know what it's saying, but there is something about women's roles
Yeah.
and like how women are treated in films. Because Leatherface is like, most of the film Leatherface is like drag. He's either an old woman or he's like basically a drag queen, or like, he's definitely like, a female character in the film for the most part. And then there's how Barry at the start of the film is just like the worst fucking piece of shit. I hate Barry.
Yeah, but like he's so over the top. It's so annoying.
It's so over the top that there's definitely something about women in the film, which was also something in the original film as well. And like just having like this like meta commentary, like there is like this like subtextual commentary on something was something in the original one that everyone loves, and the other two didn't really have it. And then the fourth one tries to really, really have it, like really
Yeah.
tries to have a subtext. So in a way, it's like, you know, these like three splintering off of this like infinite time loop, if you know what I mean, like these like like in space and time, basically all this shit is happening at different points is basically like what my idea was. And then when how Sally actually shows up at the end, it could be argued, you know, maybe that's you know, that's actually Sally that we know, that like that's her coming in after being saved from the guy driving like through, and that Leatherface is this thing that it just keeps recurring in all these different like timelines and shit like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good reading, definitely. But like,
No, that's me.
we
Reach in there,
well,
like.
well, like, you know, that's like when did you watch this last week? And you came
Yeah.
up with that in a week. These guys spent years making this film and didn't think once to like maybe our subtext doesn't work. Like maybe we're doing this wrong. Like maybe this film doesn't work.
Because it doesn't even go anywhere. Like the women,
doesn't
I
go
don't know.
anywhere, yeah.
I don't know what the fuck the women shit goes on. Almost in a way, like, because it takes the same ending again of like turning around in circles.
Yeah, but it's
And
it's so bad. It's
and it's so
unbelievable.
bad. It's so like hammy and cheesy, and it's like just kind of stupid.
And he's not even he's not even in the center. Like he's out of focus.
Yeah.
And he's swinging around like horizontally, not vertically, like in the
Well,
original.
With the again, like that thing about like women in the film, like he's not in focus. The Leatherface isn't the focus of the film at all, and like in a way, it kind of makes sense that like, you know, he's doing his iconic shit. Like this will always happen. This will continue to happen. Where like he's in drag, he's like obviously like a female figure within the film. It's the franchise that he's like basically the star of. He's not the star of this film. You know, he's the woman character, whatever, and he's not in the focus. Like he's not in focus. And he's not in frame of the ending of the film when he's doing his iconic shit. And like, there is something there, I think, but the film as a whole is shit.
yeah, like it's just a pile of shite. You can't really get across in like speaking like how incoherent the film is.
It's
like
such a weird like flow.
The way it starts
well.
off and stuff, like it's about a prom night, but then like you just sort of drift away from that, and then it's suddenly not about any of that stuff. And then even the way the farm is sort of like it's all shot in one location, but like you can really tell the way that it's the way that the film is sort of edited and stuff.
Yeah.
And like even the end scene where she escapes and she finds this old couple in an RV, and she gets into the RV, and for like 2 seconds you're thinking, oh, it's gonna be like the original film where she drives off and Leatherface is this thing.
Nope.
But then the RV just falls over, and then she's chased again,
and this random plane just shows up,
and and fucking McConaughey gets 9/11. A fucking plane comes down and chops his head off. I was like, what the fuck? What just happened?
But that's not even because that's not even the Illuminati. Like that's just a random plane that's flying around.
I think it is the Illuminati, but like it's not explained that it is. Like it's just a plane, and then it just flies away, and then a limo shows up, and she gets into the limo, and it's the Illuminati guy again, and he's like, sorry about all this. It's like, it's just so confusing, and
it's fucking insane, and like the kills are shit. The kills are real fucking bad.
Yeah, there's
They're
basically
even
no
worse
kills.
than the third one.
Yeah, there's 4 kids that start out, like from the prom, like that are in the car. Renee Zellweger and like the hot
Three
girl,
nobodies.
and 3 nobodies basically. It's like like the attractive boy and girl couple. Renee Zellweger's like the ugly girl apparently.
Yeah,
she's with like some guy, some dud of a fella.
some dude, and like I don't think he says anything before he is like really brutally murdered.
Yeah, they really dwell on that scene. He gets run over by
That goes on for ages.
Matthew McConaughey's truck runs him over for like 30 seconds. Like they don't move. It's just the truck going over his body, and like McConaughey going,
like,
oh yeah,
oh yeah,
oh yeah, that'll do it. I think yeah, that's it.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, there was a pop there and shit like that. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, man? I think it even goes. I think it goes on longer than 30 seconds. It feels like 2 minutes.
It's extremely long anyway, but like within 20 minutes of the film starting, everyone is dead, like for all intents and purposes, except for Renee Zellweger's character.
Yeah, and her mate, who we think is dead. Like I thought she died multiple times.
But she's based. She doesn't do anything in the film after the first 20 minutes. She's basically dead. And even when she does get killed, like finally at the end, you don't even see it. It's like,
Her death is brutal though. That's something that goes on for so long. And he has like an orgasm face afterwards. Like there's definitely shit about like, you know, this like
just
really
the way
brutal
it
guy,
happens, you
like,
know.
enjoying
It's
hurting people.
yeah. After he got like given out to by his manager comes in and is like, "You're not doing a good job of being scary," and then he crushes her head and like comes afterwards. It's like almost like a Gasping Away, like the way you could describe it as a Gasping Away film. Have it remade that way or something like
Yeah.
that, because it just nothing makes any sense.
It's bizarre. It's so
Yeah,
weird. And the
absolutely bizarre.
tone, it's really hard to describe the tone of this movie because it's just like, it is like really fucked up. And it is like, it can be kind of hard to watch in some scenes just because of how good Matthew McConaughey is in it.
Yeah, he's class.
It doesn't work tonally in a really jarring way, I feel like. Because like, everything is really stupid and silly and campy. But it just has this like killing psycho machine in it. Like it's really weird. I can't really describe it properly.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. When they first like the inciting incident, almost when they're like driving away from the prom, they crash into a car basically, and the guy is like passed out on the
no,
ground.
he gets up and he's like, "I'm not hurt," and then he just collapses.
Yeah, but you can clearly see in the initial shot that they're like within, like there's streetlights and stuff,
Yeah,
but like apparently they're in the middle of the woods. And also when they're running away from the truck, they all run like directly on the road, like
yeah. Instead of running through the bushes.
go into the trees or something. But like when that first happens, like they all get out and this guy's fucked. Like there's no sense of like dread or like, oh my god, how's this happened? Like the ditzy girl like sits down and is like, I need a cup of water or something.
Yeah, she's
And
like, "Oh my god, that was so scary." And it's like, "You might have killed someone." It's like, but
Yeah.
it's so scary.
Yeah, and then
Barry,
they go.
Barry's even worse, man. Barry's so much worse than her.
Barry's so hard to take seriously because nothing he says, like he's a terrible actor.
He's just like the most like unbelievably misogynistic piece of shit you've ever seen in a film.
He's just an unlikable person. He's like, there's nothing redeemable about him.
Yeah.
But like, even when he faces off, like the other male character is like, oh, like you shouldn't say stuff like that, or whatever. But the other male character is so like also like a cardboard
He's
cutout,
just a
so
cook.
unlikable. Yeah, that you're like shut the fuck up, you know, even though he's right. Like
He's
when
a soy boy.
yeah. But like when they get to like, they go for help and like they get to, I don't know, like this office kind of thing. I don't know how you
I don't know
describe
what
it.
the fuck's going on there.
Yeah,
I don't know
what
it is.
was that? And they run to this woman and she's like, I don't know what
Flashing
she
her
is.
tits at people.
Yeah, and she like, someone throws a cup through her window and she gets up and flashes her tits like in the middle of the night after someone's just driven past. It's like,
But
what
she
is
also
going
like,
on here?
because she sees that like Renee Zellweger is like looking at her boobs, and he's just like, "Oh yeah," and she like starts talking about her boobs to this like teenage girl.
Yeah.
But like even
It's-
that like of like I think that does tie in as well to like this weird thing that's going on about women in this film, because it's like it's so weird with how it treats its women characters. Even the fact that like, you know, Barry's the guy that we absolutely fucking despise. But his girlfriend gets locked in like a freezer, impaled on a spike,
Yeah.
beaten, set on fire, and then has her head
Cannibalized while
crushed.
she's alive. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's like brutalized throughout the film, and she's like kind of annoying, but not as annoying as Barry.
It's because she's too attractive, you know. You need the ugly girl to
Yeah,
win out.
Renee Zellweger, known for being, you know, not attractive.
Yeah. When I read when I did my research, which involved reading the Wikipedia article for the film, apparently like Henkel like actually was trying to do something with with women and like how women are like something about the culture and how women are seen as like passive kind of actors in that situation, which is like contrast against Renee Zellweger like standing up and sort of like not taking, like she's pretty strong when she gets abducted by a family of cannibals and like all her friends are killed. You know?
She legs it. She basically has the very same chase scene as Sally does in the original film,
but way worse.
but with her name is Jenny as well. But like, she like runs into the house and closes the door, and like, I think she barricades it or something that like Sally didn't do. Then she runs up the stairs and she gets a gun, and she comes back down and she points the gun at Leatherface and pulls the trigger, but it's empty. But she would have killed Leatherface, and it's like she is way more dominant. And also she pulled the gun on fucking Matthew McConaughey as well.
Yeah.
Like there's multiple times she's like she would have, and she pulled the trigger there as well. She would kill these people if she had the chance. I don't think Sally would have.
No, because you'd be like afraid or whatever. That was another weird scene with the shotgun. That scene went on. That felt like 10 minutes.
It went on for ages.
With her just pointing the shotgun at everyone, and then like about 3 or 4 minutes in, it becomes obvious that there's no bullets in the gun. And then they all start fighting.
It goes on for 2 more minutes.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is this? You know, maybe it'll become maybe I missed a lot of stuff. It'll become a cult classic.
No, man, I think it's too shit to be a cult classic.
But like I've heard good stuff online. I've read good comments and stuff. Some people really like it. I think if Matthew McConaughey wasn't in this film and didn't do such a good job as Vilmer, it would be. I don't think we'd even know about it. You know. People would just have completely forgotten about this.
People would have forgotten about it. Like, I do think I like it, but I wouldn't. No, like is a very strong feeling. No, yeah, fuck it. Like, I guess I like it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't dislike it. Like, it's all. I think it's all right. I think it's bad, but I think it's all right at the same time.
Yeah.
I just don't vibe with it.
Yeah, it's hard to vibe with a film that's like going for so many different things.
And the JFK thing as well, like, it's like, who do you think killed JFK? That was bizarre.
But that's like
all that Illuminati shit.
Yeah, the Illuminati thing is what really struck me. Like that, like they could have done that in some kind of like weird, like cabin in the woods, kind of like martyrs kind of thing, where they're like trying to, you know, transcend human existence by like subjecting people to horror. But like it just sort of trails off, and that's it. There's no. They're just like
go anywhere.
They're just like, yeah, we're the Illuminati, and we set this whole thing up. Anyway, we're gonna put you in the hospital. Like,
it's not even like it's for a purpose. Like in like martyrs and stuff like that, there's a reason for it. But in this film, just like you didn't like. They just want to hurt people. There's no reason for it. They just want to hurt people. They're just evil. Like,
yeah, it's like the guys from fucking Halloween 3, except way less menacing, and it makes a lot less sense.
Yeah, somehow the plan of Halloween 3 makes more sense than whatever they're doing in this film.
Yeah, no one can tell. Like,
yeah, no, it's a weird fucking film. I can't even like. So little happens, but it takes ages for shit to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually like a really simple plot if you stick to the very bare bones of it.
Yeah, it's like this could be a short, really.
Yeah,
But it just goes on for ages. But that moment though, when they introduced the Illuminati stuff, that was bizarre. That made no sense because he's like he has the knife or whatever, and he's like, "Do you not think they have this place bugged up or whatever? Do you not think the CIA is all over here?" And it's like, wait, what? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
I was like, and there's no reason for him to say it. He just says it.
Yeah, it's like, but like, there's no tension as well when he opens the door. Like, he opens the door, there's two lads in suits there. You're not thinking, oh, that's the cops.
You're not thinking, oh shit, it's Illuminati.
Yeah, you're not thinking, oh, it's the Illuminati. Like, that's not your first thought. But not in a good way. It's not like a twist. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, why? So bizarre. Actually thinking about that, like, he fucking opens the door in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, and it's the Illuminati. What?
Oh, like, oh god. Yeah, because
so
there's only imagine if that happened in the first one. Imagine Imagine if randomly at the dinner table scene, there's like, oh, there's someone at the door and the Illuminati walking.
Oh, it's the Illuminati, guys. Shut it down.
Oh god, it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
It is insane.
Yeah, that's almost made me like it better. Just dwell it. Like, it's like, just thinking about that. What were they doing? Who wrote that?
But it makes it even funnier that it's like, it's the guy that wrote the first one. Like, this guy knows how to write a good script. He knows how to tell a good story. He did like one of the best scripts probably ever.
Yeah.
And he writes this.
Yeah, ding dong. Who's
God.
there? Oh, it's fucking, it's fucking Jeffrey Epstein at the door. It's like, what the fuck is this film about?
Oh. But one of the things that I thought when he showed his 3 nipples, I was like, wait, is I was like, for my first thought was like, oh shit, he's one of the guys from Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Which would have made more sense.
It's a crossover.
Like, would have made way more sense than him just being in the Illuminati.
Oh my god. That is iconic though. I'm sort of glad that I did watch it though.
Same.
What?
Oh god, it is so fucking funny. Oh.
Yeah. I suppose it is maybe worth watching more so than the third one.
Yeah, because at least it's trying something.
Yeah, it's more of a novelty kind of thing.
It's worth it for the Illuminati, to be honest.
Well, that's one of the greatest scenes, honestly.
In my Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Yeah. It's like they knock at the door. It's like a doorbell. I don't, like.
Because I'm pretty sure that he broke through the door.
No, because he opens the door.
No, but
Leatherface
earlier on in the film breaks through that door.
Yeah, and they're in the kitchen, and he's like, this fucking door.
Oh, actually, that's one bit that I did really find very funny was when Barry comes into the house, and like I think it's cool. Like, it is obviously a throwback to the original one. So like, you broke the fucking door. Where like, when Barry gets away from the guy with the shotgun, the guy points the gun and he's like, fuck it. He knows that Barry's there, but he's not gonna break the door.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck that. I can't break the door. Cause like, Dad will come home and beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But, and then like Barry walks in and like he's just like, loser or whatever, and then he starts like shouting to, like, for no reason he thinks he's completely safe in this like cannibalistic home.
Yeah,
like,
skin for wallpaper, and he's taking a piss.
But he doesn't even notice it. He starts taking a piss, and the walls are made of skin, and he doesn't even notice it. And he's like, you should have seen me with the guy outside. I kicked his ass. Like, no, you fucking didn't.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's hilarious. There is some very funny bits to it, and some like ironically funny bits, let's just say.
Yeah, what were they thinking? Like, but
what are they thinking? Like,
bizarre.
God. And a lot of this film, like, there's 3 chase scenes as well, which takes up like a lot of the movie is people just running away.
Yeah, I love the first chase scene where the Renee Zellweger's boyfriend is running away from Matthew McConaughey in the truck,
and he's just toying with him.
And he's just toying with him, but like at one point he just like the boyfriend gets tired, and like Matthew McConaughey just pulls up alongside him and is like laughing at him through the window. It's like, man, like, why don't you go into the bushes? Yeah.
He's like, please, mister, I didn't do nothing. It's like, are you really gonna hurt me? He's like, this dude literally snapped a kid's neck right in front of you. I don't think he's.
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous, because I was thinking the same thing. It's like, why is he not running into the bushes?
He's just there catching his breath. It's like, man, like, there's a murderer talking to you.
Like, later on we find out that like Matthew McConaughey can't run. Like, he never chases after anyone. He has to drive after them.
Yeah, because his leg is fucked.
If you just ran through the trees, he'd be fine.
Yeah, like, he literally lets Renee Zellweger go. He's like, there you go, like, find your own way. Like, this is how you want it. Like, that's fine. He drives off. once she gets
Yeah.
behind the trees. It's like his only weakness is if you hide behind a tree.
Yeah, because then he can't drive to you.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
at the end of the film, where he catches up with Renee Zellweger, he drives there together as well. he can't chase after people, and that's why the bit as well where like he's outside. This is my favorite. I think this is my favorite part. Where like Leatherface is like hauling ass after like Jenny, and then at the end of the film, Matthew McConaughey comes out and he's like, "Get him, Leatherface! Woo!" He's
Get the
shouting like that.
bitch. Yeah,
Get
yeah.
that bitch! Ah! And he's just, but that goes on for like
Yeah.
20 seconds as
Yeah,
well.
that goes on way too long. It's like, we get it.
And then there's like 3 seconds as well where he's just like standing there and it hasn't cut yet. And he's not doing anything.
Yeah. Oh,
It's such a strange film.
yeah.
And it can work for you, but it might not also in a way.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely yeah, I don't think it works at all, but like there's something really unique about it, you know.
Like I've never seen a film like this before.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I can say I've never seen a film like this film.
And like that could be a compliment, but it can also be a negative.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I definitely won't forget it, you know. I definitely won't forget this film. But I didn't like
I mean,
it.
I'd probably watch it again before I ever watch, like the third one at least. I'd probably watch it before I watch the second one, to be
I'd
honest.
watch it in a group setting. It'd be funny.
Yeah.
It'd be great like with people around you and stuff, with your mates or something.
My mom was like, because I was saying to my mom that this film is bizarre, and she was like, I've never seen any of the Texas Chainsaw ones. I was like, oh, mom, you should just watch it with, like the first one and then just skip to the fourth one, honestly.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Because definitely in a group setting, it's like the second and the third don't really have anything going.
And
Like-
together, it's like together they're 2 hours and 40 minutes.
You can just
Like-
watch this one. It's like I'd be a laugh a minute, I think, if you're sitting on a couch with loads of people.
Yeah. Yeah. This would be a great like party film or something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it actually
Just
would.
have it on the loop constantly. I wonder if
Yeah.
Criterion did a.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It actually was re-released there. I think last year or the year before.
Was it?
Yeah, it's like but they had to cut out. Or no, it was the final cut. Or no, it's the director's cut or something like that. They added 10 minutes into it. Because apparently there's a lot of backstory missing off Renee Zellweger's character Jenny. There's like 10 minutes of the opening of the film were cut out where she's like being abused by her father, and that's sort of, it's meant to like match up with the way she sort of stands up to Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, also adds into the sort of feminist kind of reading of the film, maybe. You know.
Because I did think that, because like when you go on to the letterbox or whatever, like the parents are credited as like one of the top people in it, and I thought there was like, were the parents even in it? I don't even remember them being in it, because I'm pretty sure they just take prom pictures and immediately go to fucking prom.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember the parents at all. I just remember it opening where like, what's her name? What's that guy? The Billy, the jock kind of character.
Barry.
Barry, yeah. Yeah, his girlfriend comes out going, Barry, 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 and he's standing behind a pillar and doesn't hear her, like, and he's like, getting with some girl the entire time, and then she comes
And then
around.
he makes it her fault,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. That's
But
what I remember is the start of it.
And even like even before that, the very start of the film is Renee Zellweger like putting on lipstick or whatever, and we think that it's an older woman doing this,
Yeah.
and then it cuts and you realize, oh no, it's like a girl going off to prom, but that's the red lipstick being mature, like sexualized, whatever, like that's what's going on there of it, because it is very clear that that's what the film is trying to do there, because it does. That's the one thing that like really works, was that contrast.
They only got through like the second draft of the first scene. The rest is just like whatever they threw out on the page at first. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, the first like 10 seconds is like the best filmmaking in the entire film.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, what a trip! What a weird trip.
Definitely.
Are we going for the remake?
I think we should do the remake, man.
The first remake. I don't watch the remake and then watch 3 more sequels or prequels to that remake.
Nah, I think just the first one.
Grant, I'll be down for that.
'Cause, yeah,
Produced by Michael Bay.
yeah, exactly. Can't go wrong. How could this go wrong?
I mean, it can only go up realistically.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, yeah, it'll be grand.
I feel like it's just gonna be like a better version of Texas Chainsaw 3.
Mm,
I think it's just gonna be a generic slasher, but in HD.
it's only 98 minutes, so we'll be fine.
Oh, grand. That's grand. This one actually will probably be like one that is actually like tense and scary
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
because it's modern and it's gonna be dark
Mm,
as opposed to like the first one's scary, but in a very different way.
mm. Yeah, times change.
And there's way more Leatherface now as well. He's the
Yeah.
the horror icon that the films tried to get away from, but they kept
Yeah.
making films, which ultimately led to him being an icon.
Yeah, bad strategy.
We move on to listener questions.
Yes, let's go.
If you have a question, query, or are interested in answering our question to you, you can hit us up at @paro_pod on the Instagram and the Twitter. Or if you want to send us death threats, you can send us an email at theparopod@gmail.com.
Yeah, the email is only for death threats.
Yeah, exclusively.
If you send us a death threat on Twitter, blocked.
We're not going to see it. But yeah,
Yeah.
do you want to take the one
The,
question?
Best Tarantino movie.
Inglourious Bastards.
Mm.
I think that's my favorite one. I haven't seen Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction in quite a long time.
Yeah, I really like Pulp Fiction. Reservoir Dogs is good, but like, it's just good. I think if he had made films after that, it wouldn't really be seen as such a classic. It's like a
Yeah.
Tarantino. It's like a part of his brand now. It's a good independent film, but like,
Yeah, no, it is a good movie though.
I think Pulp Fiction
Yeah,
is the best.
Yeah, because then what came after Jackie Brown? I've never seen actually.
I've never seen that either. Yeah, I've heard it's really good though.
Kill Bill 1 is very good. I like Kill Bill,
Mm.
but Kill Bill 2 I don't like. Kill Bill 2 is just not the fun of the first one, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then what comes after that? Is it Inglourious Bastards then? Or no, he did
Yeah.
Death Proof.
Is that not? Is that 2004?
Yeah, Death Proof. Well, Death Proof came after Kill Bill.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either, so I have no idea. But then we got Inglourious Bastards, then Django, which is pretty good. I like Django, but I
didn't
don't
like
love
Django.
it.
I did not like
But
it.
I haven't seen. I haven't seen it since like I first saw it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, back
And
in the day.
I've never really been in the mood to return to it.
Yeah, I watched it and I was like, I watched it ages ago to be fair, but like I just didn't really jive with it. I just thought it was a bit simple, like.
Yeah.
But I don't know
And
why. I think
then-
that's just my gut reaction.
Hateful Eight, which is not good.
Yeah.
Don't like Hateful Eight. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I feel like I'm forgetting one though. Are you there?
He's met. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
I take it. You're like frozen. I was like, what the
Frozen in thought. Yeah. Wait, because he has 9 films now, isn't it? So, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill 1,
Bill-
Kill Bill 2, Death Proof,
Django,
Django.
Inglourious Bastards,
Hateful
Hateful Eight,
Eight.
and then
Well, that's
Once Upon a Time.
yeah. Well, that's 10 films. But I think he counts Kill Bill as one, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think does Death Proof count? Maybe not. I don't think Death Proof counts then.
Well, he has 9 films, like, because Hateful Eight was the 8th, and then Once Upon a Time was the 9th. So yeah.
Yeah, Inglourious Bastards. I think I just like watching a Nazi getting fucking cracked in the skull with a baseball bat.
Yeah, I'd definitely go with Pulp Fiction.
I'd probably be my second, to be fair. I honestly think that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood would be up there because it's just so weird. But it wouldn't be like the top ones. Like it'd probably be like 7 or 6 or 7. Like
Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen it, so I have to actually see that.
I'd have to like rewatch them though. I'd have to rewatch them all before I ranked them. And I've never even seen Death Proof, so I have no idea. Um, and then our question to the listeners was about spoilers, asking, do spoilers matter? What's your opinion? Um, so Liam says, you don't spoil the film, but you spoil the first time experience of watching the film, which I agree. What do you think? Like,
I don't know. Like I'm completely pro spoilers, or not pro
yeah,
spoilers.
same.
Like I don't care about spoilers at all. But like,
Yeah, same.
there's like some times when I'd watch a film, and like I look up the spoilers because I actually find it's a better experience to know what's going to happen rather than to like respond in the moment and sort of like get lost in the shock or something like that. You know, like I almost
Yeah, it
prefer
makes
to
you
know.
think about it more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I almost prefer to know. That's sort of like sacrilege in a lot of ways. But like, I almost prefer to know what's going to happen beforehand, not to the like exact beat, but like sort of
Like generally know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen. I'm the same. I'm the same. I never go into a film not knowing, not like, oh, like for new films, yeah, like when I see a film in the cinemas, that's different. But like if I'm watching something at home, I know a bit about what's gonna happen. Because most of the time I'm not gonna rewatch a film, so I don't really care. I like to think about films in a way, and like read into it, and like going in and knowing kind of what the subtext might be, and then you can have your reading as you're watching it, and like seeing how the film ties into that.
yeah,
If you know what I mean?
Because it's like because usually I go for the old Wikipedia summary. You know, if I'm watching a film at home or like on the laptop or whatever. Like Funny Games, for example, when we watched Funny Games, like it got
Which
to a
is
point in the
basically
film.
what like Emily did like later on. When we get to Emily's
Yeah. I'd be on that sort of side of things. I'd side with Emily there, and the fact that like it was also the stress, but like I wouldn't have looked it up anyway because I wasn't like closely watching it really. Like it was just sort of there happening. But like as I got sort of more into the film, I was like, I want to know what happens at the end. And then I read that and I was like, well, I still watched, but like
and you still enjoyed it.
I still enjoyed it. Yeah, exactly. Like I almost enjoyed it more. Like if you had that scene in Funny Games where he gets shotgunned and then it rewinds, I would have been a bit confused, to be honest. Like I'm easily confused, and I would have been like, it would have been jarring in a really like immediate way.
I watched. I knew that was gonna happen in Funny Games when I originally watched it, and I think like, the shock of something happening really doesn't stay that long with me, if you know what I mean. It's more about like how the film makes me feel, or what I read into the film, if you know what I mean, as opposed to whoa, my mind was blown when the guy fucking picked up the remote and rewound it. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
like the wow factor won't last for me personally. Like it's other things that will last. So that's why spoilers don't really matter for me.
Yeah, I'd be very, very similar. Like if I watch a horror film, like if I watch something like I haven't watched Saw or like Hostel or any of those films, but if I was gonna watch them, I'd read the summary beforehand. But like I don't have like photographic memory. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen every, when I'm actually watching the film. But like
yeah.
You can sort of see the film before you watch it in a way, or like conceptualize it, because it's definitely more of a visual thing. Like if you're reading about the film, reading the spoilers or the plot, it's different to actually watching the film. Very, very different thing.
Yeah, knowing the plot and experiencing the plot are two different things.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing there.
I guess we'll just hop onto Emily's thing there, because Emily was like, if a film stresses me out too much, I look up the plot on Wikipedia to find out the end. No hate. I 100%. I agree 100% with doing this, because like I'm able to like watch like this. Like I watch like pretty disturbing films.
Yeah, you're mad for that stuff.
But like I go in knowing that like what's gonna happen. Like I knew while watching Martyrs what the ending of Martyrs was gonna be. I knew going into Antichrist that he was gonna get fucking his balls crushed. I knew that was gonna happen because in a way like violence, especially with like things like violence, I'm not gonna be impressed by violence. I'm just gonna be like grossed out by it, and it's not like I'd be grossed. I'd be grossed out. I would have the same reaction, not knowing that was gonna happen, and knowing that it was gonna happen. Like the same reaction is gonna be coming out of me, basically, which
Mm.
is like disgust, basically. It also helps me like mentally prepare for that disgust and for it to not have like a really scarring effect on me or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the main thing. Prevent psychological trauma. Now, like I'd be similar, in that like I would basically respond the same way. But if I don't expect it and it happens, someone's balls get crushed on screen, I'd probably like I don't know, I'd probably like turn off the film or something, or like go do something
Yeah.
else. So like if I know it's gonna happen, it's like it's easier. It's way easier.
It is way easier. And I think as well, if it felt, because like, possession was stressing me out. And I was like, oh no, I was like, no, I actually can't handle this. I need to know if like anything violent is going to happen. Like, I need to know that. And like, nothing violent really does happen in possession. I was like, okay, now I can watch the film. And like, I can like kind of relax a little bit knowing that like no one's gonna get like the fingernails pulled out or some shit like that,
Mm.
like but it still freaked me the fuck out and still had me tense because of how good the acting is. Like, that's how good that film is. If a spoiler ruins like a piece of media, how good is that piece of media?
It's shy.
You know,
You know.
like knowing the ending of something, if that ruins like a film for you and you watch it, and you're like, oh, this film isn't good. Like, I knew the ending, so it wasn't good. That means that the rest of the film wasn't fucking good, and it's only a good ending.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like singing the hook of a song doesn't make it doesn't ruin the song, you know?
Mm.
It's like it's just part of it. And it's like it's a holistic thing. It's not about just one part of it. Like unless you're into that, like Inception kind of thing. It's like it was all
Yeah.
a dream or whatever, you know?
Yeah, that bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. But that's a whole different
Yeah.
that's like a type of film. That's like a genre unto itself, you know.
Yeah, like the M. Night Shyamalan twist and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
When speaking of twists as well, that leads on to Neil's one really well, which is saying a movie has a twist is 10,000% a spoiler. And I agree with that. Like, knowing that a film has a spoiler, you're going to be hyper aware of like seeing where the spoiler is, and that can like that can actually ruin a film, because like you're watching the films and like, this is so obvious, how did no one think of this? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. I think it does qualify as a spoiler. I know when I watched The Usual Suspects, like I've never liked The Usual Suspects, but I think if I just watched it like as a like straight, like watched it like as like a random film, it came on TV one day and I watched it, and then I saw the ending, I'd be like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But instead I went into it knowing that there was like this mad twist at the end. And
Yeah, and then you realize that like, it doesn't really matter.
the twist shows up and you're like, that was fucking terrible. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's a bad twist.
The twist isn't good, you know? It's
Yeah.
only like it's surprising, I suppose, for the people that saw it at the time. Or if you don't know what you're going into. But if you know what you're going into, it's like, bit of a waste.
It's not good.
Bit of a waste of 2 hours.
Like during lockdown, I watched a film that like I didn't even mean to, like, I'm not gonna name the film because don't want to spoil it, because like people might come across this film. But I knew I don't know how I knew the spoiler of this film, but I watched the film and the film started, and I'd forgotten what the spoiler was, and then immediately it hit me when something happened. I was like, oh, now I'm watching the film completely differently, and I hyper noticed that the spoiler like was like, or the twist was being told like throughout the entire film, and I was like it's actually not even well done. It's not even trying to hide the fact that it like that the twist is coming. It's just like kind of shocking, if you know what I mean.
What's the film?
It was I realized that I can fucking edit this out.
Yeah.
No, it's not a good twist. And as a whole, then the film wasn't very good. Because I didn't enjoy it, but I heard really good things.
Yeah, it's all leading up to a
It's- yeah.
twist.
Basically, the entire film is the twist, and therefore means that that like holds true for me. Then it's not a good film, because if I knew the twist or I knew the spoiler, and that like had an effect on the film, how effective is that actual film then?
Yeah, you just make it a short instead. Yeah, most of those twist films would be better off as shorts, or could be done as shorts in a better way.
Yeah, like Fight Club's twist, whatever. Fight Club's twist doesn't even make any sense realistically.
Yeah, but like at least there's like a plot going on, you know. At least
Yeah.
like it's not just a twist, you know.
Yeah, there's other things to enjoy.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
loads of other aspects of the film to enjoy. You know, the whole toxic masculinity and all that shit.
Uh-huh.
That's really there's more shit going on than just a twist.
Hmm.
Therefore, that's why it's it's a good film.
Yeah, it would work without it, I think. So, which is like I think the acid test of of something that isn't defined by its a spoiler.
Do you think as well that that might be the reason why like Fight Club is like a film bro film, because it has all this shit going on, but it also has this mad twist that all the
Yeah.
film bros completely ignore everything else, and it's like, whoa, the twist is insane.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because it's easy to hang on to that sort of stuff, especially because it's like, you know, it's designed to be as like impactful as possible. It's always right at the end of the film, and you're like, whoa, it changes out your perspective or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I think that is a good twist though, because then when you rewatch it,
mm,
like, again, you can see it being like hinted at, but there's loads of other shit going on, which was the problem with like, the film that I watched during lockdown, where there was nothing else really going on except for, it's a horror film, and then the twist was basically the point of the film,
yeah,
more or less.
yeah. I really like The Sixth Sense because of that, because it makes you think.
Mm.
Because it's like,
Yeah, and there's other stuff going on as well in that film.
yeah, but like it's almost like it's just like a sort of a straightforward kind of horror film.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then you're at the end, and like like you could take the twist out of that film and it'd still work, and it'd still be a pretty good horror film. But like the twist just like adds a whole new dimension to it, and it really works. Really ties it in a neat little bow. That's something that I wouldn't have wanted. That actually was spoiled for me because it's like one of the most known twists of all time.
It's literally everywhere.
yeah, but like, like that would if I didn't know what the twist was in that film and someone told me, I'd be like, oh my god, why did you do that? You just ruined the film. In a way. Yeah, spoilers are overrated. I don't care about spoilers.
Yeah, same. I don't care at all. And then Sinead is saying, I prefer to watch knowing as little as possible, but it's not the end of the world if I know a few plot points.
I completely agree, Sinead.
Yeah, I completely agree as well. Yeah, I think as well, like, knowing a bit is fine. Like, people that don't want to know, like, for me, people that don't want to know anything going into a film are just weird, because then like I can't have a conversation with them about a film that they haven't fucking seen.
Yeah. Like, what's the point of that? Like, I don't know, because especially if you don't know anything about a film, like let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum where like you don't know anything about a film.
Why do you want to see the film?
Yeah, what's the point of that? You're just wasting 2 hours, because 90% of films aren't good. Like, that's a fact.
Yeah.
So you're just wasting your time. So I always want to know as much as I can without. Yeah, like, I like this like bare bones kind of synopsis on when you Google stuff, and that usually works. But like sometimes it's like you just get that itch and you're like, click on the fucking Wikipedia link and you're like, I'm just gonna read this whole thing, and it doesn't make a difference to me anyway. So
yeah, no, I don't think it makes a difference for me either. Like, especially because most of the time when I'm watching a film, it's not the story really that like.
It's the vibes.
It's the vibe. It's like something. It's something else that's going on. It's not the direct story of what's going on that like really matters for me. And if it is the story that like really matters for me, I'll get more attached to it over multiple viewings. You know what I mean? Like knowing the ending of like Mommy, watching it the first time, it had an effect. Like it was kind of like the film basically tells you basically what the ending is going to be at the start of the film. So that's a bad example. But like, it's after multiple viewings that like I grew more and more attached to the characters, and that ending had a bigger impact on me each and every time that I watched it.
Yeah.
But there's only certain films like that, and rewatching a film is a very different experience to like watching a film for the first time.
Yeah. I think the whole thing is just like debunked by the fact that there's like an ancient tradition of stories that start out with the end, and then
You're probably wondering how I got here.
Yeah, literally the record scratch.
Yeah.
You start out with the end, and then you go through like you go back to the beginning, and then to the middle, and then back to the beginning again for a bit. It's like all that stuff, But like the ending is no more significant than any other part. If we're to be complete purists here,
Yeah, it's just a story, the end of the film could also be the start of the film. You know, the end of the film is the start of the next story.
Yeah. Yeah, if we're gonna get real abstract.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. Oh no, because I was just thinking there, like, especially in terms of like, genre films or like genres that have like like a narrative structure that's really fucking obvious, if you know what I mean. Like sports films, the good guy will face the bad guy at the end of the film, shit like that. For the film club this week we watched Warrior.
Oh yeah.
And in a way, I was very surprised because some people are like, "Oh, like it kind of got spoiled for me," or like I saw something or read something that said like, the two brothers fought in the film, and I just sat there and I was kind of like, "Did you not know that was gonna happen? Like that's like every sports film ever."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's like spoiler alert. And the other Karate Kid. Karate Kid fights the bully.
Yeah, Rocky fights Adrian.
Yeah, like it's like that shit happens, and like I was kind of surprised that people had that reaction. I was like, "What? How did you not see that? Because that was clearly gonna happen."
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe there is like an advantage going into a film that way. Like just like blank slate, like maybe like I don't know, like turn your brain off. I don't know.
You are a pure subject.
Yeah, a pure subject of ideology. I don't know. I haven't thought about it, but maybe that is the thing.
I don't know, because like
Fuck that.
I'm
to be
trying
honest.
to think of a film like where that like no right. I think that happens when you watch something, right, and you watch it and you really enjoy it on the first watch because of whatever reason, because you're experiencing it for the first time. But then on the rewatch, you're like, this is actually shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I can't really think of any example.
That's happened like a few times to me where like I come back to something like, this is actually shit. Like this isn't as good as I remember it being. And like it could be a taste thing, or it could be the fact that like this wasn't a good film, but I was just experiencing it for the first time, like, and I was excited. Like Joker, rewatching Joker for the second time, I was like, this film is not good.
Yeah, nah, I don't know. I can't really think of any examples, but like.
And I'm always terrified of going back to films for that reason. Like going back to a film that I liked, I'm like, oh god, I hope I still like this because I really liked it for the first watch.
Yeah, I can you can sort of tell though when like you're not gonna like a film again. It's like, oh, I used to love that, but now it's shite. Or you like it for like really sentimental reasons, like something like, I don't know, like old like childhood films, like if I watched them, if I'd never seen them before and I watched them now, I'd be like, this is shy. But I liked them because
like if you watch it, like Dumbo was like a classic film for me, but if you watch it now, I'm like, this is misery porn.
yeah. But like, it's only because I like it because like, I'm like partial to it because I have good memories of watching it. It made me feel good when I first watched it. It's like, that's not the correct way to watch films. Spoil everything and look at everything with a completely critical eye. Then you can sort the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah. No, I do agree in a lot of ways. But I think that we're weird, man. Like we watch films for entertainment, but our entertainment comes from very different things.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Like we're like talking about like films or whatever, and like sometimes there are films I'm like, no, I just enjoy them. Like this is just pure enjoyment or whatever. But like a lot of the time when I'm watching a film, I'm like, thinking about the film, like this is just not good and it doesn't work for this reason, and I'm not enjoying it for that reason because my brain won't shut the fuck up. Like, and that's not to say that like people enjoy like films do that. You know what I mean? Like, like you just switch off your brain and don't think. Like that's not what I'm saying.
That's what happens. That's a fact. Look it up.
This is what happens when I watch a fucking Avengers movie. My brain just
Yeah.
flops out of my head.
Yeah, it's a near-death experience every time. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm pro spoilers though. Like I do not care about spoilers at all.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think we'll leave it at that there, Marco.
That'll be that, I suppose.
That'll be that.
Next week, we got Eyes Wide
Sweet.
Apparently.
Sweet. Can't wait.
So,
I haven't watched it yet, but I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to watch it soon.
So keep those eyes peeled.
Looking forward to it.
Over the next week. Have a look at that that film.
Keep those eyes open. Don't keep them shut.
Not until we start talking about the film.
And then you can close your eyes and just listen to our sweet, gentle voices.
Yes. So unnecessary. All right. Goodbye. God bless.
Bye, everyone.